giving you guys some music culture.
Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes, ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes, ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes, ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes, ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's what's going down. Ah, yes, ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes, ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that.
So I think it's a good time to start. Talk a little bit about NASCAR and their plans to test a new short track package. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. And I want to try something different today. I like tier lists when I've seen other people do it. So this tier list is going to be strictly based on my honest opinion on each individual driver and where they stand in the hierarchy of NASCAR. Okay, it's not going to be based on my whether I like them or not. I will talk about that as I do the list. I'll tell you if I like them or not. But I think it's more important to. I want to really give you my honest opinion on where I place them in terms of their skill, right? Um, so I'm gonna save that for last. I hope you guys enjoy it. I've never done it, so it'll be my first stab at it. So let me read a few comments before I get into the race. Okay. First of all, I want to welcome everybody. Brian Burley II, welcome. That one kid, 789, welcome. Austin Nance, welcome. Let's see. JC 1424, welcome. Douglas Lintz, welcome. Viper 199 GT, welcome. Let's see, anyone else? Okay, so Project 94, welcome. Addicted to Speed, welcome. All right, let's see. Track. You know what? I'll do a track tier list next time if I remember. I don't want to do it all in one. I want to kind of spread it out a bit. So yeah, if I remember on my next live stream, I'll do a track list. So well, hopefully this one goes well. Okay. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. The OBS is disconnecting and reconnecting, but I'm not gonna back out. I'm gonna keep it going. I think the audio continues to run. And if you guys miss anything, yeah, I realize it froze. Um, yeah, when I'm at work, this internet isn't the same as when I'm home. I'm using my hotspot on my phone. So I'll just keep it going. And if you guys miss any details, I'll go back. Yeah, it's freezing. I could see the kilobytes jumping up and down. Okay. Mr. Mike, welcome. Who is number one? I'm not going to do it in any particular order. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go number by number and then I'll figure it out. By the end of the list, yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it. We're going to have to feel our way across. Um, JC, NASCAR is so stupid, like big fat uber stupid. Like I sit here and accept on a monthly basis how stupid they are. How the fuck are you gonna test a short track package at New Hampshire, Richmond, where there isn't a problem? Yeah, I'm gonna let me talk about. I'm gonna get to the race first, and then I'm gonna talk about the package, and then we'll get into the tier list. Um, that one kid says we're good. Yeah, I could see this kilobyte per second tracker, and I'll see it take a dip, and then sometimes it'll disconnect and reconnect. So instead of just backing out and trying to reconnect, I'm not doing that anymore because I've noticed in other live streams, it might freeze a bit, but the audio kind of stays there. If you guys miss something, you let me know, and I'll go back to where you guys tell me I cut off, and I'll reiterate whatever points I'm making. Um, Viper says a track tier list would be easier for me to do. Uh, yeah, there is an option for a track tier list. So I'll do that next week. I don't want to burn up too much content in one live stream, right? So I got three good things to talk about, and then next week. And if you guys have other suggestions, always feel free. But that's a good suggestion. I'm gonna do that next week. Brian Burley says Lars and Bryce on top three. All right, let's not get into the tier list yet. I'm gonna set you guys straight on where everybody sits. NASCAR Kid says, Disco, how's your day so far? Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm at work. Another typical day. I guess on a no news day. No news is good news, right? I think. Let's see, Douglas, easily the worst racing season. I disagree. So I'll get into that. Let's get into the race, and I'm gonna let you know um, right off the bat. I cannot give you guys a rating for the race today because I missed the first half of the race. Because of the time the race started, I was out running errands. By the time I got home, I had to leave for work. By the time I got to work and I got settled in and took care of my responsibilities, right? 1 second, guys. Hello, engineer. Um, no, estoy un poco busy. Yes. Déjame llamarte ahorita. Sí, yo tengo que bajar hacia ahí. Ok, yo te llamo ahorita. Ok, vale. Bye. Okay, where were we? I missed the first half of the race. By the time I settled in, I'm at work, guys. Remember that. That's what all these fancy keys are about. Uh, I was able to tune in, and it was just finishing the second stage. So I missed. I think that's more than half the race, right? So I got a good chunk of the race, but not enough for me to say, hey, this is um this is what I rate the race. I don't think it's fair for me to give a rating on a race where I caught half of it. But I can tell you what I thought of the half that I caught. I felt more or less it was an average race, especially for New Hampshire. New Hampshire is or has always been this type of race, which is a track position race. Not really my favorite type of race, but I do enjoy when there's a long green flag run and watching tire wear come in where certain guys have the setup for a long run versus a short run, maybe get a green flag pit stop in the mix. I was able to see some of that. Um, from what I mean, from what I've from what I saw and checked after the race, um, Martin Truex dominated the race from start to finish. So there wasn't really battles for the lead. But yeah, I saw a couple of guys that were able to race pretty well. Christopher Bell was very impressive. Um, but then he got himself in trouble later in the race. But it was a pretty average race for me. And I've said this before, and I'm going to reiterate this again. An average race for me isn't the end of the world. This I still view NASCAR as a sport, and in sports, you're not every game, every sporting event isn't going to be the greatest thing ever. You can't expect a game seven, you know, championship moment every fucking race. That to me is something that a lot of people have come to expect, which is why NASCAR promotes things like these constant late race cautions, restarts, green flag checker finishes and all that. And I think we've seen enough of that now that I think we can confidently admit to ourselves that wasn't the right way to go. I much rather see a race finish naturally, right? And if that means that the leader checks out, it is what it is, right? If you have the best car and it's your day, it is what it is. I don't want to see a late restart where some guy that was running mid pack all day stayed out and then he dive bombs and takes out the leader and wins the race. You know, I'm sorry. I don't enjoy stuff like that. I like to see people, earn, get the finishes that they deserve, right? So I'm okay with the race being pretty average for what it was. There were things about it that I found enjoyable, but nothing blew me away. There wasn't any like edge of my seat racing. So it is what it is. And it is New Hampshire. Keep that in mind. New Hampshire has never, ever delivered a non like track position type of race. Track position is everything. You can stay out even though you don't have the best car and kind of hold off better cars. It's just the way this track has always been. So that's the most I can tell you. For me, the half of the race that I did catch, it was pretty average, and I'm okay with it, right? Um, so yeah, Martin Truex wins. He's having a fucking great year. Not surprised. He drives a Joe Gibbs car, and he is a top tier talent, right? Which you'll see later. Um, so I'm not surprised. Christopher Bell should have had a top five at least. But yeah, you push these cars past the edge, you're gonna lose it, right? Um, yeah. So other than that, I didn't really remember anything from the race that stood out to me. It just is what it is. Uh, the short track package definitely needs work. I know. You've used 80% of your smartphone. All right, I know that already. So, yeah, it was a pretty average race. Um, it is what it is, right? Um, I was glad to see Bubba Wallace finish eighth. Um, I really think it's time for people like you could still boo him if you want. Just leave me the fuck alone. Jesus Christ. Um, where was I? You boo him as much as you want. You could, hate him, cheer against him, or I should say, root against him. Blah blah blah. Um, that shit needs to end. Like you could still hate the guy, but I'm impressed with him. This is the second year around this time of the year. Leave me. Oh my god. Oh, somebody's sending a bunch of fucking photographs. Leave me the fuck alone. I hate this. All right. Um, yeah. This is the second year in a row that we're at the midpoint of the season, and he's had a long stretch of solid runs. And he's not a top tier talent, but he's a scrappy racer. He's a scrappy racer, right? He has just, stuck to racing, right? And he's just scrapped his way for every position. I'm really impressed with him. I'm not trying to get people to like him. If you don't like him, that's fine. But enough of the, oh, he doesn't belong in NASCAR. He's proven he can race. And like I said, last year he had a long stretch of races where he was actually one of the best drivers for that stretch. Oh my God, leave me alone. Hold on a second. Leave me, oh my God, these fucking, did you put me in? Blah, blah. Yeah, we have everybody chipped in at the job for the Powerball. So everybody's texting each other saying, make sure I'm in, I gave my money, so yeah. And who knows, hopefully I could quit. I love my job, but if I hit the Powerball, I'm out of here. Okay. let me read a few things. I said what I wanted to say. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. All right, Douglas Lynch, easily the worst racing season. Disagree. I read that already. Um, Viper says Harrison Burton would be below average. Okay, we're gonna save that for the tier. I'm gonna set you guys straight on where everybody belongs. NASCAR kid, that's good. Thumbs up. Timing, Austin Nance. I guess you meant the. I don't know if it was the phone ringing or NASCAR kid. Truex was dominant and 7 or 8 cautions. Yeah, I mean, is 7 or 8 cautions this day and age? I would say that's par for the course, right? It's pretty much what I would expect. Maybe slightly above average, but yeah. Austin Nance says as soon as he said responsibilities, yeah, that's when then the phone rang. Douglas Lynch, I meant today, worst race of the season. Oh, okay. Thanks for correcting that. Um, this is not the worst race of the season. Like, if you didn't like it, I get why. I can see why somebody would find it boring. Like I said, you could say this about every track position race, right? These specific type of races where it's all about track position and it's very difficult to pass. Slower cars can actually hold faster cars up. So I get it totally. I'm not going to sell this to anybody. Like I said, I found it to be a very average race. But if we go race by race, there are definitely races I hated way more. And I don't even hate this race. It's just average. But if you found it to be a terrible race, I'm not going to argue that. Um, you have a point. JC says, I cannot ever see the comments of this Douglas guy. Um, listen, everybody here is welcome. I respect everyone's opinion. And if you say something dumb, I will not hesitate to correct somebody, so we're not all going to agree on everything. Brian Burley, keys remind me of the episode of Office where Jim tries to keep adding keys to Dwight's keyring so that by the end of summer his pants fall down. Yes, I love The Office. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I remember how um, Pam actually fucked that prank up, you know. So yeah, uh, yeah. I'm an important guy. The more keys you have, the more important you are. I hope you guys know that. And I have a key ring here, my own keys for access to the building. So let's see. Mr. Mike, Austin Dillon, best ever. Hardy har har. That is definitely sarcasm in capital letters. Good to see you, Mike. Hope you stick around. Austin says it was an average. It was average for sure, no doubt. Yeah, it's average, right? Is it something to fucking pull your hair out and fucking throw a tantrum over? No. I'm okay with an average race every once in a while. Um, the season is always going to have ups and downs. We've seen some fantastic racing this year, and we've seen some average races, and we've seen some pretty crappy races. So we've got a little bit of everything. My thing is, hopefully, NASCAR figures out a better package, right? And I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. We're going to move away from the race because outside of everything I just told you, there isn't a lot to talk about. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary. It just is what it is. Um, let's see. Brian Burley says New Hampshire, one of the more boring tracks. We have too many flat tracks now. Gateway, yeah, Gateway, and is just it's another fucking New Hampshire. Um, Richmond, Phoenix, Phoenix I would put there too. Phoenix has become pretty dull, hard to pass. It is that type of race. Richmond, I will say, and I hope it's not just a one-off thing where everything was just perfect, the temperature and the track conditions, because this year's Richmond race was really, really good. And we got to see old school racing, long green flag runs, green flag pit stops, tire wear. Um, I say that because if they went back and raced there tomorrow, would we get the same type of race? I'm not sure. Like, so you do have to take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes it is the package, sometimes it's the race conditions. So, Richmond has sucked for a while now, but this year it is one of the best races of the year. I'm not saying top three, but it was definitely an above average race experience, and it felt very old school to me, which I love. So, yeah, I'm going to hold off on throwing Richmond in there, but it does have similarities. Martinsville, um, Martinsville is funny because it is a track position race, but because you can pull bump and runs, right? It's a slow track. It does look like a bunch of shopping carts, like trying to ram their way into to pay, to get to that cash register. But it does provide, like, it is kind of mixed. Sometimes you get great racing, other times it's not so great. It's a mixed bag. Um, yeah, half of Pocono. I'm gonna say I know a lot of people disagree with this, but I love Pocono. I enjoy Pocono. There's something about it's a unique track. Yes, it's flat, but it's a tri-oval. It's huge. Every corner is different. Um, I don't know, man. There's something about Pocono that I do really enjoy, and I love racing on it. It is one of my favorite tracks to race on. It's just something about it I cannot explain, but I do think it's an underrated track. I think a lot of people have come to hate it, and maybe a lot of these people have already decided, like, for the past 10 years, I hate Pocono, and they're not taking the time to really watch it again. I don't know. I'm not saying everybody falls in that category, but I really hope people give it another chance, like when they go back. I'm not saying it's going to produce a great fucking race, but you always have something extra there. And fuel mileage, that kind of stuff always plays into it. And I've gone there and watched live races, so I don't know. I'm not. I'm gonna hope people give it a chance, right? But I'm not gonna. I can't sell it to you if you hate it. JC says, I haven't felt New Hampshire as a track position race for a long time. To me, it's one where the track is hard and things always play out over a long period of time. Well, the thing is, that's true if you get a long green flag run. And that's the problem. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Now, I did miss the first half of the race. You guys will have to tell me. But we did get a long green flag run where there was green flag pit stops, right? And then Suarez stayed out, and the caution came out. So we got to see some interesting things there. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't hate New Hampshire. I don't know. I think if they make a couple of the right changes, it might improve. I don't know. Oh my God, not again. Okay. Die Hard, welcome. Sup, bro? Welcome to the live stream. Austin says Truex is on his A game this year. Yeah, people forget this is a team sport, and these drivers don't forget how to race. I've always said this. I give drivers a big window. Like, a lot of times people make up their mind about drivers, and I'm always the one that says, you know, these guys know how to race. If they have to be in the right equipment, the right conditions, the right team, when you get all of those things together, that's when you see guys go to that season this season, because everybody on that team, they found their groove. Um, he didn't forget how to race. You know, it's this is how the sport has always been, and I do think people give up on drivers really quick. Um, and you look at Stewart Haas; they were a top tier race team. They're not a top tier team anymore. In fact, they are somewhere between a second and third tier. Like, I don't know if I could say week to week they're a third tier team, because third tier I would say is pretty average, because they do show up once in a while. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the old Chip Ganassi, where he was never a top tier team, but they would show up like every third or fourth race with fucking cars capable of winning. So it was very erratic, the performance. It wasn't consistent, inconsistent. That's the word I was looking for. So Stewart Haas, they have definitely dropped off that top tier. They are second tier and sometimes third tier. Like they'll hover like this. And today they look good. Chase Briscoe, like that guy's sucked all year. But yeah, they found something at this particular track today. And Kevin Harvick is the one constant, but even he hasn't been himself what we've seen in the past. So yeah, Bobby Birch, welcome. What do you think of the race? I'll give it a 6 out of 10, or a 6.5. Here we go. It's showing 0 kilobytes, so this thing is about to disconnect. Hold on a second, guys. All right, so it's showing kilobytes again. So if everything froze, let me know what I was talking about, and I'll go back. But yeah, I don't want to give it a rating, but if gun to my head, I would say a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. So let's see, Austin. Hope they get rid of shifting on ovals. From your mouth to God's ears. Okay, agree more. The one thing that I did find interesting, now that you bring that up, one more thing I do want to mention about this particular race. Some guys were racing without shifting. So you could race shifting and not shifting. I guess it depends on how the car is handling, but I do not like shifting on ovals. I don't like it. And there are things they can do to get rid of it. Let's see. NASCAR Kid says, I've always liked New Hampshire for a long time. Austin says, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. JC, damn, this the phone? Was it something else I was talking about? Let's see. Uh, Douglas says, I give the zero very, or whatever, a very boring race. Yeah, I mean, I can't sell the race. If you hate it, oh my God, this fucking thing is starting to drop frames now. I'm sorry, guys. We'll stick with it. Hold on. Let's see. What is that ringtone? It's just a generic uh it's a generic Samsung T-Mobile ringtone. I used to have a nice ringtone. I custom ringtones. I don't use it anymore. Let's see, NASCAR Kids, 6 out of 10. I'm on the same page as some of y'all. I'll give it a 6 or 6.5 out of rating earlier. Yeah, it's a pretty average race, right? I mean, there were definitely much worse races this year, but it's a forgettable race. By the next race, you will forget all about it. Terrible Android noise. Yeah. Have you ever thought about getting into stocks or crypto? No. That's pretty much gambling, and I'm not much of a gambler. Um, the stock market is really a legal casino. It, and I'm in the stock market, but it's not like where I'm in there buying and selling and controlling. I'm in the stock market through my annuity, which is my union takes dues, and they take a certain amount of my hourly earnings and they put it to my annuity. So it's similar to a 401k, but it's not 401k. It's a different type of annuity, but it's our engineers union, and a certain amount of money every hour goes to that. So um, that when you retire, then you draw from that as well, right? So I have a pension and I have an annuity on top of that. And my annuity is divided into several things like the stock market, bonds, and then I forgot what it is. There's other things but it's divided in different percentages. So the largest percentage of my annuity goes into what's into bonds and what they call I guess safe stocks, right? Stocks that have they don't really go up or down by a lot. They're very steady. You don't get a big return, but it's steady. And that's what you want because you want something for the long term future. You're not looking to do like, oh, I'm going to go make a few slick moves in the stock market and then just dump all my stock and I'm a millionaire. That kind of shit um, doesn't really happen in the real world. And when it does, it's these people who are already wealthy that are able to make those moves because they have all these inside connections. They know what's going on. Um, a regular schmo like me, I'm just a working guy, and so that's how our annuity is. I could go in there and kind of change the percentage, like, oh, put another, move 5% out of this into this, which is a more risky portfolio, but I could make more, but I could lose more. Like I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, I don't play in the stock market myself. Crypto, I do not believe in. I know a lot of people believe in it, and they're like, "Whoa, this is the future. It's gonna take over the currency that we now know." I don't know if we're anywhere near that, and I've seen a lot of I work with people that play with crypto and stuff. So no, I'm a very I don't like taking big risks. And I think my I guess I would say non-risky nature, it served me well. I make a good living, good enough where I can play things safe and I'm going to be okay at the end of the day. I'm retiring in about 4 years at the age of 57. A lot of people can't retire that early. That's pretty early to be able to retire on a full pension. So before I came to the city, let me know if this stuff you know. Before I came to work for the city, I did work in the private industry. I worked at a hospital. Same thing as an engineer, but I was earning less money. The benefits were kind of different, and I had 11 years there, and in 2001, I came to work for the city. So I actually have half a full pension from this job. I'm going to have my annuities on top of all that. So I'm okay. I can't complain. I'm very grateful the people with wealth. And the things I want to do in life, I can pretty much do it. I got out of debt many, many years ago. Like I played it smart and safe. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't mean to get off on a whole other direction. So let me read a few more comments, and then I'm going to get into the short track package that NASCAR wants to test. So JC, worst race of the season. Phoenix could have that. To be honest, I don't know if this was the worst race of the season. Oh, okay. You're referring to the other guy. I can't see him in the chat. Um, yeah. Look, it is what listen, if somebody wants to say they hated it, I'm not gonna argue because it wasn't a great race, like by no means. It's just a pretty average, and it does remind me of your typical New Hampshire race. Like this is the way New Hampshire usually is. It's just a pretty average race. Bobby Birch, did anything happen after the race? I didn't watch that part. No. I mean, I didn't stick with the broadcast when the race finished. I had to get off, and I actually, like I said, I'm at work. I had to go do a few things that pertain to my responsibilities here. Let's see, Die Hard. Atlanta was much better. Uh, as much as I'm not a fan of Atlanta, I have to agree. Atlanta did put on a better race. I gotta admit it. I'm not. Am I sold on Atlanta? No. Um, but I do hope that Atlanta keeps creeping into what we saw, which to me, and I'm hoping this is the case, that tire wear did play a role, and like the track, wearing out. It is pretty quick for this track to be wearing out, so I'm not sure what it was, but after 20 laps, I did really enjoy what I saw at Atlanta. So I'm hoping it continues to drift into that area. I don't want to see conga lines. So if you're just comparing the last couple weeks, yeah, Atlanta was a better race than what we saw today. So I have to agree with that. Bobby Birch liked the post race. Um, yeah, I don't know anything about what happened in the post race. Diehard says Noah's struggle has been devastating. Yeah, man, I think that bowl cut is not. All right, let me stop. I'm just joking. Nah, he. I'm like I said. I don't want to. He hasn't been around long enough, like to make a definitive judgment, right? And like I said, I like to give people a much longer period of time before I make up my mind, like, okay, this guy sucks, right? Um, that Legacy Motorsport Club, they're just not good. That is a average, and sometimes they even look below average team. They just rarely show speed. Um, Eric Jones has at times shown some speed, so that's what, but they're pretty average at best. So, can't is it fair to judge Noah Gregson on that? I can't stand that guy, but in all fairness, I want to give him more time before I make up my mind. But I tell you, I don't see too many people, even as a rookie, look as bad as he has. He just really looks lost out there. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Austin says, I'm happy that my guy Harvick got a top five. Yeah, that guy is just he's a great driver. I mean, he's gonna get whatever the car has in it. So yeah, I'm impressed. Uh, Not a fan of Harvick's, but credit where credit is due. Pocono is awesome. NASCAR kid, I do agree. I really like that track. I just and actually there are tracks that I like to watch on TV, but I hate racing, right? I love racing there. Like I love the feel of that track. I don't know, man. Like I think it's an underrated track. It's a shame so many people really hate it. It's such a unique track. Okay, that one kid finally. We won't get rain next weekend. Uh, where are they next weekend? I wouldn't fucking say for sure anywhere. This weather has been insane. Bobby Birch says NASCAR has 4 weeks in a row where rain has affected the race. Yep, no rain showed Chicago. The race ended early. Atlanta ended early, and New Hampshire we ran on Monday. Yeah, man, the weather's been pretty shitty, man. JC says we did get long green flag runs today. Saw Byron fall off. Elliott climbed through the field. Bell struggling. Um, yeah, from what I saw, Bell looked good, but then he lost it. Like he put that car too high up on the in the corner, and then he lost it. That's the thing about some of these short tracks. When you There's a fine line between the raceable part of the track, and just getting off of it, even a couple of inches. And yeah, he lost it. And it was over after that. Let's see. Diehard says racing is way more different to ball and stick sports when it comes to hanging it up. Yes, it is. That one kid. Let's get started with the list. Okay, so all right, guys. Let me get into. I know you guys want to see the list. Um, I did want to talk about this short track package. I'm gonna keep it short. So let's see. Hold on. I don't know if you guys could. Oh shit. Let me change this real quick. Okay, now you guys can see that. Um, so NASCAR announced they have a short track package. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to look through it real quick. In its efforts to improve the quality of the racing of the next gen car on shorter tracks and road courses, NASCAR will test some new aero packages created around a newly designed splitter. I'm not going to read all this, right? But I'm going to give you the gist of it because I already read it. I know what this is. I've heard of it from Dale Jr. as well. You guys can check this out. This is the motorsport.com uh, article. So you guys can go read it for yourself. But basically, okay, the splitter under the car, they worked on some changes where, in theory, what will happen is when you're in clean air, the car doesn't have the same downforce. And when you're in dirty air, you have more downforce than you normally would have. So I don't know all the technicalities about it, but basically, this is what I see. Those of you who remember the Eutechnics games, if you've been with me back then, I talked about this a lot back then. Something I hated about those games, and it wasn't every game. I think at some point they got rid of it, but they instituted something called rubber banding, and what that is where once you took the lead, the game would artificially slow you down just a little bit and sped up the AI so that you couldn't pull away. In other words, you could be fast, but you're not going to start lapping everybody. And if you were too far behind the pack or the field and you started falling back, the AI would slow down so that you could catch up. And that was called rubber banding. And it's not the only game that's ever done that. There have been other race games that try stuff like that to create this it's an artificial sense of competitiveness, right? So no matter how good or bad you are, you always felt like, okay, I'm in the middle of battling the AI. I'm not going to run away with it, but I'm not going to also get my doors blown off. So, on paper, they thought it was a good idea. I knew it was a terrible idea. And after playing it and experiencing it, I was proven right. I talked a lot about it back in the day. Um, and I hate it because it's an artificial form of racing. And to me, if you have a fast car and and it's your day and you guys nail the setup and whatever, if you just happen to be so fast that you're just blowing people's doors off, as long as it's clean and you're not cheating, I'm okay with that. And if you get lapped, I'm okay with that. Like if you're just, the setup's not right, you're having problems. It happens. That's part of racing. I don't like manipulating the racing. This is one of the things I hate so much about pack racing. Um, and just anything that has to do with aerodynamics. I fucking hate it. Dirty air has been a part of racing forever. Even back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, when those cars weren't as aerodynamic, aerodynamic did play a role. I mean, aerodynamics. Dirty air was a thing. It's just that it wasn't as pronounced, right? Because we now live in an era where cars are a lot more aerodynamic and they're faster. So the faster you go, the more aerodynamics actually plays a role. So this idea that you're just gonna manipulate the under spoiler underneath the car to where if you're the lead car or you're out in clean air, it acts like a parachute where you're not going to have the same amount of downforce and you're going to struggle, so you can't get away. And then if you're in dirty air or your car's like, it's easier for you to pass because this thing gives you more downforce in dirty air. It also reminds me of, and I don't want to get deep into this because I don't follow open wheel racing like F1 or whatever, but the ERS stuff or um, DRS, I'm not sure. There's these things you can do. It's like pushing a button and you get instant extra power, or the drag on the car is diminished and you can gain speed. These are things that are part of, I believe it's a part of Formula One, or was, I don't know. I hate stuff like that. It feels like gimmicky. It's a video game type of thing. I don't want to see stuff like that uh, in anything, in racing, in sports. It's stupid. Um, so JC says, yeah, '06 through '09 had a ton of rubber banding. That's true. So that rubber banding stuff ruins the racing, and I hated it. It's like, what the fuck? You couldn't even turn it off. So um it's just awful. It's awful. And it's such a manipulated form of racing. That's why I hate pack racing. Because you can't do something unless you get people helping you, pushing you, getting in line with you, and you can't make moves by yourself and shit like that. Um, Besides the whole conga line, boring conga line stuff, like it's just a manipulated form of racing. I don't understand what people like about it, and I'll never like it. So that's what this package sounds to me like, right? And they're telling you that the intent of it is to act like yeah, DRS, drag reduction, right? And I think ERS is something too. Correct me if I'm wrong, where the car gets extra power somehow. I don't know, but that kind of stuff is a big turnoff for me, and it's a gimmick. So anyway, but that I don't like the sound of this package, and I it's so easy to fix a lot of these issues by just adding a little bit of horsepower. If you add um just a little bit of horsepower. I'm telling you, I know everybody wants 900 horsepower and 950 or whatever the fuck. Those days are over. They're not coming back no matter how much you want it back. However, if NASCAR could go to 750, that's 80 more horsepower than the 670, that would make a big difference. And maybe a couple of tweaks like less fucking downforce. That would cause more tire wear and make the cars harder to handle and make it more about mechanical grip. And guys wouldn't they'd have to feather the throttle a lot more. They couldn't just mash the throttle on exit of a corner. Those things would add to tire wear and attrition. Whereas this is rubber banding. It's just a fancy form of rubber banding. That's what I'm calling it. So I don't like the sound of this. And it's just more aerodynamic manipulation. Get away from aero. Aerodynamic manipulation is not a good thing for racing. Get to the mechanical grip and horsepower. So look at how much better the racing got when they went from 550 to 670. So a lot of people are like, oh, 670, it's not going to make a difference. Well, if you look at the first year and then the second year, it made a big difference. The racing at mile and a half got so much better, and the racing, I think, for the most part, is fantastic at mile and a half tracks. So now, what can you do about the short tracks and the road courses? Add a little more horsepower. So give it 750. That's 80 horsepower more. I know on paper it doesn't sound like a lot. On the racetrack, on a short track, I do believe it will make a difference. Could we try it at least and maybe reduce the rear spoiler, something, before we come up with this convoluted undercar spoiler that's going to have this rubber bending effect? It's insane to me. And this idea that they're saving money they've already debunked that. These engines won't cost a single penny more to put it from 670 to 750. Um, I've built engines. Getting more horsepower is simply using a different profile cam, a bigger throttle body, and tuning. And maybe increasing the compression. So using a different piston. And when I say increasing the compression, I'm only talking maybe um, half a point at most. So let's say going from, I don't know what the compression are. I'm just throwing a number out there, but going from 10 to 1 to 10 and a half to 1 compression. Those of you who know about mechanics and engines, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about a huge jump in compression, but a small bump along with tuning, a bigger throttle body, and a different cam profile, right? And the proper tuning. That's all it would take to get another 80 horsepower. It wouldn't take much. And those things, we're just talking about different profiles and tuning. So technically, you're not buying more expensive parts. It's just the profile of these parts are slightly different by thousandths of an inch. That's all it would take, just for 80 horsepower. It won't cost the teams a dime extra, and an extra 80 horsepower is not going to turn these engines into a ticking time bomb. So they'll still be very reliable. And I think an extra 80 horsepower is something NASCAR, maybe we can fucking twist their arm into it. If you did that, you would promote more tire wear and the racing would get better. Um, 750 horse, can we try that? And I just don't get it. They would rather try this stuff for I just don't see how rubber banding these cars is going to make the racing better. So let's see. JC says suddenly every race is a pack race then. Yeah, in a way it is kind of pack racing because you are manipulating the racing through aerodynamics. So the leader can't check out because now he's going to have less downforce because of this fucking thing. So it's going to kind of parachute him from breaking away. And the guys that are in dirty air, they're going to have a better run because they're going to have more downforce. So it is going to be something like pack racing. Is that going to be the final result? I don't want to go that far, right? Because it's not fair, right? I'm only making a prediction on what they're telling me. If it works the way they want it to, I don't like the sound of it. So that's all I'm going to say for now on that. I think you guys are ready for the tier system. Let me know. Am I still on live? Looks like I am. You guys are ready for the tier maker? Hold on a second. Let me know if you guys are ready for this. Yeah, NASCAR Heat Evolution did that rubber banding BS too. Yep. McDowell had a talk with Ryan Priest. I did see that on YouTube. It was nothing. They got together, they talked like two human beings, and they walked away. That's the way it should be. I don't mind seeing a guy get punched in the face, but it really depends on the situation. And if you race like an asshole and you fucking dive bomb and just or run over people, yeah, I don't mind seeing a guy punched in the face. All right, so we're gonna start with the tier maker. So you guys are ready for this, right? I'm gonna see. I don't know how delayed this live stream is. I'm still on, right? I think so. JC says, Disco, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Also, Disco talks about rubber bands for 10 minutes. That's how I am. I'm very I'm very easy to get off track. I'm a talky guy. You guys know this for many years. My videos are 10 times longer than most. Okay, guys. So let's get to the tier maker. All right. This is my first time doing this. Okay. So I have this divided: top tier, second tier, average, below average, and why the fuck are they on the track? Okay. So I'm going to go one by one. I'm going to go number by number. And then I'll explain what I think of the driver on a personal level and why I got them where I have them. Um, this list is based on what I think of these drivers on a skill based level, not my personal feelings about them, which I will still tell you, but I'm not going to let my personal feelings get in the way of what I think of them. Okay, so we're going to start with um, Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain is someone I have, I wanted to like him because I'm a Trackhouse fan, but I just don't like the guy. He's been quiet lately. He's been staying out of, the controversy, but it's going to be a while before I trust him. Um, but yeah, I don't, so far, I'm not a fan of his. But that being said, the guy has shown that he can race. He's a hell of a driver. And I do think he is a top tier driver. Um, he's only won a couple of races. I get that. But between last year and this year, he has proven that he can run up front almost anywhere, and he's come close to winning many times. Now, he's either screwed it up himself or for one reason or another just didn't get the job done. But, wins are definitely important, but it's not the only measuring stick of to me of talent, because a lot of times you can show talent and not be able to win for many different reasons. So I do have him as a top tier driver. I think he is talented enough to be top tier. On top of that, I want to make one more important point. Trackhouse, in my opinion, is not a top tier team. As a race organization, they've been amazing. What they've done is amazing, but I do think they are a second tier organization. I don't think they're top tier yet. I do think they're going to get there, hopefully. Top tier is, I mean, when you see the other teams that are going to come up, those are top tier. These guys are just every week show up. They're a threat to win week after week after week. Um, there's three top tier organizations in the sport. Everyone else to me is a notch below at least. So Trackhouse for me is a second tier organization. They're not top tier yet. They're not like every week showing up with race winning cars. Like, so for them to not be a top tier team and for him to be as successful and as competitive as he is, he's a top tier driver. I don't have any doubt of that. Okay, so number two, Austin Cindric. I have to say he is average. And I am um, tempted. No, I can't put him below average. But he is driving for a top tier organization, and he's just not doing well. He won the Daytona 500, and that's it, pretty much. I know he's supposed to be a really great road racer, but I don't remember the last time he's done anything outside of the Daytona 500 where I've been like, oh shit, And you guys know how I feel about uh, pack racing and shit like that. I'm not impressed with. I'm sorry, with pack racing. Like anybody can win those races. All right. So that's not impressive to me. I think at the moment he's average. And if he doesn't improve, he's going to drop to below average because he is driving for Penske. So I'm not ready to give up on him yet and say, oh, he's below average. But um, yeah, you're driving Penske, and from all the hype and he came highly regarded from Xfinity. Yeah, he's average at this point, and he's in danger of dropping if he doesn't improve. So the next number is number 3. Austin Dillon. I can't stand this guy. Um, being privileged and having that silver spoon background where his fucking grandfather owns Childress racing, um, that doesn't help, right? But I'm not going to hold it against him that alone because, in all honesty, he has, to me, he's proven he can race. And I don't like him at all. Another reason I don't like him is I saw a couple of episodes of that awful fucking reality show, Life in the Fast Lane. So he loses points on that as well. His fucking haircut is, I shouldn't say that, but just let me leave it at that. I'm not a fan of him personally, but I have to be fair. He's proven he can wheel a race car enough that I don't think anybody can say he doesn't belong. Like in the beginning, I get it because he's got the silver spoon. He's the grandson of Richard Childress. But I do think he's done enough where I don't think it's fair for anybody to say he doesn't belong in Cup. He's earned his spot, right? He's not great, but he has impressed, and he's had some really good runs from time to time, and he's won some big fucking races early in his career. He's still early in his career. So I'm going to put him second tier. Okay. So he's definitely not a top tier driver. But he shows up a lot of times, even when he's running like crap towards the end of the race. He figures out a way. The team figures it out. Somehow, some way, he ends up finishing better than what he ran during the race. So for those reasons, I have to give him enough credit to say I'm impressed enough with his skill that I think he's a second tier driver. A second tier driver is really good. To me, if you're a second tier driver, yeah, you could consider yourself a star, right, in the sport, but top tier is another level. So let me check the chat real quick. Hold on a second. Before I get back to the tier, I don't want to miss anything. All right. I saw Ross lift. He gave room. Cindric pay driver, dad is Penske president. Run 16. I didn't know his dad was president. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. Um, like I said, if he doesn't improve, he's going to drop to below average. He definitely should be racing a lot better in that car. Harrison, Burton, Ty Dillon. Yeah, they're pretty bad. Cindric is at least funny. I don't know much about him personally. I like AD3. Man, you like guys that I fucking hate because I do not like Noah Gragson or Austin Dillon. Um, okay. uh, let's see. Cindric hasn't done a damn thing after winning the Daytona. That's my point. And anyone can fucking win that. This goes too damn funny. Appreciate it. Mark Forget, welcome to the live stream. Today's average wouldn't make the Cup Series 20 years ago. Yeah, but we're living in a different time. Austin Dillon's not all that great. I didn't say he was great, but I I am impressed with, like, sometimes I am impressed. Like, I'm like, he doesn't he's not racing over his head. He's made mistakes, don't get me wrong, but he fucking He's not easy to pass. I got to give him credit. He does. He's a bit of a scrappy racer. I have to give that to him, and I don't like him. I'm reminding you guys, I am not a fan of Austin Dillon, but I think he's scrappy. I really do. I think he's shown enough, and I don't think Richard Childress is a top tier team. By the way, Richard Childress is definitely. I think they're a second tier team, right there with Trackhouse. Sometimes they show up with fast cars, other times they don't. They're very up and down. Again, I got to compare them to, you know, Ganassi Racing, that type of thing. So that's another thing you got to keep in mind. He's not driving top for a top tier organization. I don't know. Why am I spending so much time defending a guy I do not fucking like? But I'm being honest. I regardless of what I personally feel, what he's shown so far, he's won some big races in his career. That's not easy to do. And he's scrappy. He didn't have a great car today, and he had a good finish. He's a scrappy racer. He deserves to be in that second tier. I have to say he's impressed me. And that's saying a lot because I don't like him. Okay? Austin races, let's see. Wins his races on luck, to be honest. Yes, yes, I agree. I've seen times where it's like this fucking guy, he's lucky. But there's only so many times you could just say the guy's lucky. He keeps putting himself in good positions. And some of that is because of his skill set. So yes, you're right. He is lucky, but at the same time, he is putting himself in position to be able to capitalize on that luck. So I don't know, man. I think he's a second tier driver. I'm okay with where I have him. Uh, let's see. I put both at Austin's in average. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Austin Cindric is in much better equipment, and he's done nothing. Like he's been outdriven. You just can't compare the two. I just think Austin Dillon is just shown a lot more with less equipment. I just they're not on the same level, in my opinion. That could change, right? Maybe Austin Dillon finds something. I mean, Austin Cindric. Maybe he starts catching on. But then again, I didn't know he's related to somebody in Penske, and there's only so long that's gonna help. Who knows? Stenhouse is nearly top tier, back-to-back nationwide championships, Daytona 500, and runs top 10 with a team that sucks. Yeah, we'll wait to get there. Let me get back to the tier list. Okay, guys. All right. And as we go, you guys let me know how I'm doing with the tier list, just the way I'm running it. Are you enjoying it? And of course, if obviously you're going to disagree with some of my picks, that's fine. You let me know. So the next number should be Harvick. Harvick, this is a no-brainer. Hall of Famer, top tier, and he's actually doing, showing you why he is deserving of a top tier spot because Stewart-Haas is struggling. They are not a top tier team anymore, and they are borderline second tier. They are in danger of dropping to average. One more thing I'm going to say about Stewart-Haas. I think the best decision, like if I was there and I was making decisions, I would reduce the team to 3 cars and not 4. They're too big. They're spreading too many of their resources. Bring it down to 3 cars and reallocate your resources, and you'll be able to do more. 3 cars is still plenty. I really think 4 cars is overkill. I don't like 4-car teams. I think it's too much. If I was NASCAR, I would cap it at 3 cars. I know a lot of people disagree with that. I don't like these mega teams with 4 teams. I think 3 cars should be the max. So I got that off my chest. Kevin Harvick, top tier. I know nobody's going to disagree with that. Okay. Uh, Number 5 is next. Larson, another no-brainer. Champion. This guy's a fucking. He is an amazing, uh, generational talent. Um, yeah, there's no question about his ability. He is driving top tier equipment and he's delivering like he's supposed to. Yeah, the guy's a great driver. Can't take anything away from him. Personally, I'm neutral on him. I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I'm kind of average on him. But he's an amazing talent. I can't, you know, regardless of what I feel, he's a great driver. Next on the list is Keselowski, a former champion, and he is reminding people of why he's a great driver because he is doing it at an organization which he now co-owns. They are not a top tier team. Like that organization is now they have gone from average to second tier, right? Before Keselowski went there, they were really an average organization, mid pack, mid tier, but they have improved. They're showing speed. They are running a lot better. They are not a top tier organization, but they are second tier, right? So the organization is second tier, but he's already shown you what he can do. He's a former champion, won plenty of races, and he has come close to winning in this six car several times this year, and he has shown speed almost every week. So he's a top tier guy, no doubt about it. I don't think anyone's going to disagree. Corey LaJoy. Corey LaJoy, I would say average. Um, his career, if you're just looking at his career and his numbers, I would say he's below average. But that team, that whole organization, they are barely average, right? Um, at the moment. Doesn't mean that can't change in the future, but that's an average organization. We did get one opportunity to see Corey LaJoy on a top level car, but it really wasn't at a track where they ran well the last time, even with Chase Elliott. So, um, and he did get outrun in this seven car, his own car, by Hocevar until he had that mechanical issue with the brakes. So that didn't look good. But I just feel like you don't want to judge everyone on that one race. So um, it would take more races in a top level car for me to really get a good grip on Corey LaJoy's talent level. And there were moments, he's had his moments where he's surprisingly broken into the top 12 ish run, at certain tracks. Um, so I think he's average at the moment. That could change, but in all seats with Austin Cindric, and then we could see what he's capable of. But that's not going to happen, obviously. So the next car on the list is another guy I've always hated. It hasn't really changed. I just never liked him. But there's no denying this guy's top tier. Um, he is driving for a second tier organization, but he's out racing the equipment, which I would expect. He's a great driver, right? Another generational talent. So yeah, no, there's no doubt. Like, um, the only doubt so far in the top tier that I could see somebody like making a case like this guy may not be top tier, like it's too soon. Maybe Ross Chastain, but he has shown, I think, a lot in the last 2 years on a second tier organization. So I do think talent wise, he's proven he's a top tier guy, even though I don't like him. So yeah, Kyle Busch is top tier. Next is number 9, Chase Elliott, top tier. He's proven it. What is there to say? You look at his resume. He's not having a good year, but I think a lot of it's bad luck. He got hurt on top of that. Um, and yeah, some of these individual teams, even on top tier organizations, they have their own ups and downs. So, all right. So he's top tier as well. Tier of the sport. Let's see. Eric Almirola is next in the number 10. Um, this is one that I'm having trouble with. He's had his moments where he's shown he might be second tier, but then again, um, he hasn't done certain things enough times. I put him average. I think he's average. I think he's, you know, even though Stuart Haas is definitely underperforming this year, but he's been average at that organization for a while. I know he won that one race. Was it Martin in his career? He's just been an average driver. So next is 11. Denny Hamlin is a top tier driver. He's won too many races, even though he doesn't have a championship. Especially this day and age, a lot of things play into championships. Um, it's not an exact science. So the guy's fast every week. He's always a threat to win. He's won a ton of races. Hamlin, that's no secret. But there's Ryan Blaney. He is definitely, oh, I shouldn't say definitely. I don't know. If there was a spot in between top tier and second tier, I would put him there because he's not quite top tier yet. He has won some races. Don't get me wrong. But then he's had a lot of runs where they don't finish well. Like he runs really well and then something falls apart. But this year, I have to admit, he's looking better. So I'm going to say something that some of you may not agree with. I'm going to put him in second tier. Second tier is talent level, right? You've shown talent, but he is maybe another couple races away from a couple of wins. Or let's see how he does to finish the year in the playoffs and all that. Um, like I said, he might be too good for second tier, but he's not good enough for top tier. Some weeks he does look top tier. So that one is tough. That might be the toughest one yet, but I feel like I'm safe with second tier. I think I'm safe with second tier. I know some of you are going to disagree. I think that's a good spot for him for now. Next, no 13. Okay. Yeah, 13's not running anymore. So the next is 14, Chase Briscoe. He's average. Um, he had a decent run today, but when's the last time? I don't know. He's very average to me. I'm not impressed. And this is not just with this year with Stuart Haas running so bad. He hasn't really impressed me. He hasn't done much to go above average. He's an average driver at best. Next is 15. Who the fuck is 15? Oh my God. All right. Oh my God, I'm having a brain freeze. Yeah, I'm gonna put 15. Why the fuck are they on the track? It's just one of those teams. They're just field fillers. 16. Is that Almendinger, right? Um, he's fast at road courses, but I just feel like he's a specialist. Xfinity, I do think he's second tier. But yeah, this isn't Xfinity average. And that's only because he's really strong on road courses. Um, Chris Buescher. second tier. He has impressed me the past couple 2 years, and he has kind of raced above what the car is, and they're getting better. And he has sort of kept up with Keselowski for the most part. I'm impressed with that. So he's second tier. He hasn't done more than that, but he's shown he has talent. He has talent, and he's showing it. 18. There's no 18 anymore, right? Okay. 19 is Truex. That's a no-brainer. Former champion, top tier driver, and he's having a great year again. Not much else to say. Um, I've always been I kind of liked him when he was at Furniture Row, but it's not his fault. But driving for Gibbs, kind of scrapes off some of that. So I'm neutral on him now. I'm just neutral on him. Christopher Bell, I think even though he hasn't had the finishes, he has. I'm going to put him second tier for now. I know some of you, he has shown top tier talent, and I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps up to top tier at some point. But again, his overall body of work, he's had a lot. Like today, he was fast, and then he fucking lost control and wrecked. Um, it all matters. It all counts. So I look at him along the lines of a Blaney in terms of talent. Both of them can easily be top tier with a few changes. So keep in mind, this is a tier for today. These things can change. 12 and 20 could easily be top tier some point down the road. Harrison Burton is below average. Um, I know, I actually thought he would do better. Um, that 21 car is a satellite type of organization. They should be on par with Penske, not quite, right? I don't expect them to run like Penske, but before Harrison Burton, um, they just ran better, no matter who was in the car. Um, yeah, I gotta say, I think he's one of the more disappointing drivers. Um, yeah, he's below average. I think that 21 car is better. He should be getting better results. I'm not saying he should be winning, but he's been pretty bad. So I'm gonna hop back real quick, see if I missed anything in terms of. Let me look at the chat. Okay, man, I missed a lot of. All right, hold on. Eric would have won if his team got that wheel tight. Legacy sucks. Uh, Oh, JC says, I would love an explanation why I can't see that guy in chat, though. This Douglas guy, I have no idea who you're talking about on my end. Oh, no, no. This is Douglas Lintz. I don't know why he's not showing up on your chat because he shows up on my chat. Um, so I don't know. That's weird. I didn't know what you were talking about. Now I get it. I don't know. That's weird. Diehard says, yeah, Legacy sucks. Yep. I'm running Pocono on NR 2003 right now. Pocono is next weekend. Oh my God, yes. I look forward to that. What do you think of Creed? He's my favorite Xfinity guy. Um, I don't know, man. The guy has talent for sure. I don't know. There's nobody in the Xfinity series that. I don't know. I don't. There's no one there that I'm like. I'm rooting for this guy. Like I don't know, man. I don't. I just don't care enough. But the guy's talented. There's no denying it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion on him at the moment. NASCAR Kid Formula GT says NASCAR Heat Evolution did that rubber banding. Yep. Die Hard, they had plate race package like where it was slower because of the wicker bar. Yeah. Okay. Let me go forward because some of these I already went through. Hold on a second, guys. We'll get back to the tier list. Yeah, I did go way back. Um, let's see. I'd put both Austins in average. Stenhouse is nearly top tier. Okay, I read that. Okay. JC says Austin Dillon generally runs 25th in a car. Kyle Busch could win in again and again. Same with Tyler Reddick. So look, I do not like Dillon. And yeah, sometimes he is fucking 25th. But other times I see him battling and he just works his way somehow into top 10. I know some of it's gambling and whatever, but then he fights for those spots. He's not getting run over. That's what I call what the fuck did I say earlier? Feisty. Just he's a feisty racer, and I got to give that to him. I just find that he does surprise me more often than not. As much as I don't like him, he's above. I think he is a bit above average, and he's regardless of how he's won some big fucking races. What do you think? Okay, all right. AJ's below average. Chase Briscoe is a wasted prospect. Uh, yeah, AJ's he could be. Yeah, the reason that I didn't put him below average is because he is a threat at road courses, and there's too many road courses. Um, I think that alone gets him out of that below average spot. Um, and he's there are guys that have run worse than him at even on ovals. So I'm like, okay, average. He's borderline average, in my opinion. Busher is average. I don't know, man. I just see him. I've seen him have good runs. He doesn't always get the finish, but that is not a top tier organization yet. I think just talent wise, I don't. I think he's a bit of slightly above average. And if Roush Fenway or Keselowski Racing, if they get better just a little bit, I'm curious to see. I think he could be a threat to win a couple races. I don't know. He's shown some speed. All right. JC, no, hold on. 1000 HP next gen. Welcome. 11 car is second tier. Only one win in 2 seasons. Nah, man. Denny Hamlin is not a second tier driver. I got to disagree with that. Uh, 2020 car wrecked himself today. Yeah, these cars, man, they're twitchy. They're you get over the look at fucking Kyle Busch. He wrecked himself too all weekend. So, it's uh it's not always easy. Boot out one of those Toyota drivers in Cup and put in John Hunter Nemechek. Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek could easily uh take somebody's ride. The guy is talented. Flaming Tables Jr. I'm loving this stream topic. We need to do one where we have a tier list for each brand, who was their best driver, brand throughout history. I will do more tier lists. If you guys enjoy this, let me know if you want me to do more tier lists. I'll do it. This is my first time. Let me know, you know, what you think um, of how this tier list is going. Okay, what's next? We just did Harrison Burton, who's below average. He's actually in danger of going into why the fuck are they on the track? You know, because he is related to the Burton family. Let's not forget that. He was sort of impressive in Xfinity, but yeah, he's in danger of at some point they're gonna have to justify why he's there. That 21 car should be a lot better. How about John Hunter Nemechek taking over the 21? I'd be curious to see that. I think that would be a nice, interesting thing to watch. I guarantee you he'd outrun Harrison Burton. So next is 22, another no-brainer, top tier, Joey Logano. What else is there to say? Um, I've been up and down on Logano, more or less neutral on him. There are times I don't like him. He could rub me the wrong way. He's done boneheaded moves throughout his career. Sometimes that goofy grin after he wrecks people, in pit road isn't the greatest thing for me. I don't hate the guy. I'm just kind of, but he's a great fucking driver. Next is 23, very controversial driver for a lot of people, not for me. I think, and I know some of you are going to hate it, I think he's a second tier driver. I think he's showing, um, 2311 is still not quite top tier. I know everybody's like, oh, it's Gibbs equipment, Gibbs. No, as an organization, they are not quite top tier. Not yet. They may get there, but they're definitely second tier. Um, and he has shown speed. He's been running pretty well. He's very scrappy. Um, he has impressed me. Yes, I'm a fan. I've made no bones about it, but I think he has shown he can race. Um, he's definitely not top tier, uh, not at this point, but he has impressed me. He's scrappy. He fights. Today he finished eighth. Um, he battled. He's not letting himself just get bullied out of the way, and he's done a commendable job of controlling his emotions, which is to me his biggest weakness, where he can let things get to him. And if he ever really learns to control that, I think he he will impress people. And if you can hate him if you want, boo, root against him, but I honestly think, for where that organization is, he has been showing up, and he's been scrappy. He's given them everything they can ask for. And even in practice and qualifying and all that, he has been very close to Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick, in my opinion, I'll get to that later, is a top tier talent. So I don't think Bubba Wallace is on his level, but he has really been scrappy, and he's not far behind. So far, I'm just judging what we've seen in the past two seasons. I think he belongs second tier, and I think second tier is nothing to be ashamed of. That's pretty good, but he's not top tier. The next car is 24, William Byron. I gotta say he's top tier. He's very impressive this year, won a lot of races, and even when he's not winning, he's usually, not always, usually he's top 5, top 10 throughout the race. Um, and he's still young. But just measuring talent level, yeah, he's a top tier driver. I'm kind of neutral on him as well. Don't love him, don't hate him, just don't care. Um, let's see. Who's next? 25, 26. 6, 8. Wow, there's nobody else in the 20s. 29, 30, 31. Okay, 31. Who the fuck is 31? Don't remember, don't care. Don't. Is that. Wait a minute. Is that. Who the fuck am I thinking of? I'm sorry. That's Justin Haley, right? Oh my God. Justin Haley, I think, deserves average. And that. I would not be surprised if he gets to second tier. I think he's talented, and I think he is outperforming his equipment, but the potential for second tier is there. He's definitely talented. So, yeah, I have to, at the moment, in all fairness, put him at average. He just hasn't shown enough yet, but he has at times surprised. Like, I could see the talent there. So, let's see 32, 33, 4. Okay, 34 car. We got McDowell. Oh, man. This one's tough. I'm going to put him second tier. I think he's outrun the equipment. That equipment is definitely average for me, and especially lately, every week Michael McDowell is scrappy, and he's always good on road courses. I don't think I don't expect him to win, but he's definitely top 10 scrappy. He's right around that area. Um, he's been around a long time, and yeah, I think he's second tier. I'm not a big fan or anything, but he's shown something. So the next car is 38. This is Gilliland, right? Yeah. I'm gonna say below average, right? He's on the same. Aren't they the same team, 34 and 38? But he's just never. No, he's below average. He needs to show a lot more just to get to average. So 40, 40. There's no 4. All right, 41. Eh, Priest hasn't shown much, to be honest. I'm gonna put him average. That team is really bad. Um, yeah, I want to give him more time, but he's pretty average. 42 is um, Noah Gregson. Oh man, if you're just judging him on this year, I would put him here. Why the fuck are they on the track? He is looked lost, like almost like a guy that has no race experience. But I'm gonna take him out of that, out of the basement. I'm gonna put him to below average. Now this can change. I don't want people to think, oh, this is his fucking on his tombstone. I am not a fan of Noah Gregson. Don't like him at all. But he's definitely better than what we've seen so far. And I, he can eat. If he has to run a lot better just to get to average. But that organization, Legacy Motorsport Club, sucks ass. Um, they are barely average, sometimes below average. They're just like teetering between that. Um, but yeah, regardless of how shitty that organization is, he should have better runs. You see, Eric Jones run way better, even when he has trouble. So in the same organization. So yeah, he's below average right now. That can change. But I have to judge him on the limited scope that we've seen. Yeah, he doesn't look good. Eric Jones is next. I have him second tier. I do think he's very talented, and it's a shitty organization, and he still at times pops up and he's competing. Um, he's not a top tier talent, but second tier, I think I'm comfortable with that. I think in a better car he would do better. I still don't know if he'd be a top tier guy. He had opportunities at Gibbs, and yeah, second tier is a good, comfortable spot for him. Nothing to be ashamed of. 44. Who the fuck is 44? Let me go real quick to the comments. Let's see. 41 is below average. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see that. Hold on a second. All right, hold on, guys. I'm getting there. Justin Haley did great at Chicago. Yep. Stop cherry picking. 11 hasn't. Car hasn't done crap. I don't know how I'm cherry picking. I mean, the guy's a future Hall of Famer. You've seen how many times he's won. Every week he's fucking top five, top 10. I'm sorry. That he's a top tier guy. I mean, I don't like Denny Hamlin. Where am I cherry picking? I disagree with that. Let's see. He's average to below average. I don't know who you're talking about. Maybe Haley. Chase Elliott had done better than the 11, and that's saying something. Justin Haley, 1,000 horsepower next gen, 99 third tier. Uh, I disagree, but to each his own. Near below average. NASCAR kid says almost won Chicago street course. Yeah, I mean, but remember, road courses are track position races, and he did like stay out late in the race. You got to remember that. You could stay out late in a road course race and hold people off and get a good finish. So, yes, he was impressive for what he was doing, but he was nowhere near the front the entire race. It was on strategy. So we got to remember that. Let's see, 34 is second tier. Yeah, I that's where I have him. McDowell in the same boat as Bubba. Bubba has better equipment though. Um, hmm, I'm just saying, man. When you look at week after week, he's grinding it out, man, and I can't take that away from him. I think he's second tier. I'm talking about Bubba. You see, McDowell does great considering the team he's in. Yeah, that's why I got him second tier. Um, Second tier solid, guys. Let's see, 38 third tier. I don't know, man. From what I've seen, he's just 45 second tier. No, I disagree. JC, what the fuck are you talking about cherry picking? He's won 5 races in the last 2 years, finishes top 10. Thank you, JC. um, yeah, I don't know how anyone could look at Denny Hamlin's resume and say he's not top tier. He's top tier. Please don't make me defend the guy I fucking can't stand. I've never been a fan of Denny Hamlin's, and here I am. I got to defend somebody I don't like. Let's see, Diehard almost average. McDowell's running on that Yates racing engine. Yeah, but these engines, they don't. I'm not sure they make as big of a difference as they used to. Um, I think overall these cars are just very close to each other, which I like. 54 second tier. It's really early for that. It's early for that. I don't. All right, let's see. JC. Try to be honest. I don't know, man. I just I can't. We have to agree to disagree. Denny Hamlin is a top tier talent. I can't. I can't. Can't ignore his resume. His resume is fucking. It's one of the best resumes of all the guys racing today. Let's see. There's no honesty, just reality. I agree. No average. Um, he might be average down the line if we're just looking at his limit. And I'll admit it's only been a little bit, right? This isn't a lot to judge somebody on. And I'm open to the possibility that things get better and but even for the team he's racing, even when you take that into consideration, this guy is just, I can't remember somebody having a worse string of races. He looks like somebody who's is his first time in a race car sometimes. I don't know what it is. Some of it is bad luck. Some of it is maybe he's not in the right mind. Maybe get after getting taking that shot. That was a hard punch by Chastain. He hasn't been this. I don't know, but right now he is not good enough to be average. Sorry, that can change, but right now he's one of the worst people on the track. Just looking at what his very small body of work. That's all I can say. Let's see. 11 car has been weak. Listen, if all you judge people on is how many wins they have or championships, I don't get into that because there's a lot of things that play into those things. Um, yeah, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I don't want to keep going back and forth on that. Let's see. Average only because he has a decent car. He can drive in the top 10. But that's my point. I can't judge him on what if he was in a better car. He's better than that. I don't know. What is that based on? He hasn't shown anything. Look at Eric Jones. Eric Jones, same crappy organization, but he has shown much better results and much better, even if, when he gets shitty results at the end for whatever reason, throughout the race, he's outrun Noah. It's not even close. They're not even close to each other. Um, I'm sorry. He's below average right now. That could change. What if racing? Good to see you. There's no convincing me that Hamlin isn't good. He's not a champion, but he's an A tier driver. Yeah, I mean, he. I don't understand why we're having this argument. He's a top tier driver. It should be that in anybody's book. And I fucking don't like Denny Hamlin. Stop making me defend someone I hate. Hate's a strong word. Let me take that back, but still. Let's see. Talladega was almost a win. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Don't talk to me about Daytona Talladega. I just anybody can win those races. I'm just I don't care about those races. Flaming tables. Eric Jones second tier. If Dylan second tier. Um. Yeah, but Austin Dillon to me has more often than Eric Jones run better. I that's what I'm seeing with my eyes. Um, Sometimes it's strategy, whatever it is. He does put himself in these positions a lot of times, and maybe he's getting better finishes, right, than he deserves. But that is part of it. Um, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. Um, no. Let's see. Uh, I did put. Oh, wait a minute. I did put Jones second tier. What am I arguing? Yeah, I put him in second tier. Now I'm getting confused. Hamlin was the class of the field on Thursday. Yeah, 11 car top tier, car third tier, driver. Real talk. All right, man. Look, you made your point. You think he's bad. Can't agree. I'm sorry. Uh, let's agree to disagree. I got to move on. Jones, second tier, considering the current state of legacy. Yes, that's why I have him there. Jones, average. Nah, I think he's above average. I think he's proven that. That's a shitty organization. Who is 44? Greg Biffle is 40. That's why I'm at 44 now. I don't know who's 44. Um, yeah. Let's see. Real talk. Multiple Daytona 500s, Coca-Cola. Yeah, I'm not going to keep defending Hamlin. He's proven himself. Let's see. Flaming. Wow, I never seen that car on the track. Which car? The 44? Yeah, I don't know shit about that car. What if racing? In full points format, Hamlin's average points finish is 7.7. If that's considered bad, I'm done. I agree. Um, Regardless of, it's just every fucking race he's in the top five at some point in the race. He's a great race car driver. I can't. All right, let's move down a little bit. Okay, let me get back to the tier list. This is running a bit late where it's almost 9 o'clock. Okay, so 44, I think I have to say, man, I'm tempted to put him top tier talent wise because he's shown talent. He's shown it when he was driving for Childress, and he's shown so much speed here. But he's also had, like, I don't know, man. He's like, I can't. He can be a top tier driver. I think he's better than Bubba Wallace right now. He's better, but I his talent potential, guys. So he's second tier. If there was a spot between second and first, he would be there. Um, so yeah, he in a lot of ways he's comparable to like Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney. These guys show up, they're fucking fast, but bad things happen to them, and a lot of times they just can't close the deal. I hope people understand what I'm saying. So all three of those guys, the 12, the 20, and the 45, potentially could be top tier guys, but they're not closing the deal. They're not closing the deal. Blaney is definitely having his best year, and he has closed out and won a couple races, but you know it's still too soon to push him in the top tier. I can't put him up there with these guys yet. In terms of consistency, right? Um, he's actually accomplished more than Chastain, but if you're just looking at just the past 2 years, I do think just on a week to week basis, Chastain has kind of shown more. And he is in a second tier team, whereas Blaney's in a top tier car. So yeah, this is where I'm at. So yeah, the 12, the 20, and the 45 have potential. Like, I have no doubt that they can be top tier, but they're not there yet. That's it. I can't spend all day on that. 47, Stenhouse, considering the team he's on, and this year, like before this year, I would say average. but I think he's pushed himself. I'm impressed with what he's done with a team that is, in my opinion, an average team. They're not even second tier. They're an average team, and he has really squeezed every ounce out of that car. I'm impressed with him. 48, I'm going to put him second tier. I know some people are going to be scratching their heads on that one, but it's a top tier team, and he has gotten lucky. Luck counts. I'm not taking it away from him, but yeah, there's a lot of times where he just, at the end of the race, for whatever reason, ended up near the front in second tier. He's a second tier driver. So the next car is 50. Who the fuck is 50? Don't know. I'm not going to waste time on it. Why the fuck are they on the track? 51. That's a Cody Ware car, right? Uh, Rick Ware Racing. Yeah, why the fuck are they on the track? Next car is Ty Gibbs. I think he is talented. I think he has potential. He has potential. Is really small. And he is a bit, it hasn't been that consistent. So, oh man, I'm reluctantly, and I don't like him, but I'm reluctantly going to put him barely, barely makes the second team, second tier. And lately he has been consistent, like more consistent than he was early. I don't know. I'm tempted to put him in average, but yeah, I think I'm safe. I think I'm okay with putting him second tier. Uh 62, who the fuck is that? Don't know. Who is that? All right, if I don't know or it doesn't come to me right away who it is, I'm just gonna put him on what the fuck. Why the fuck are they on the track? Like, this is pretty much field filler territory. Same thing with 77. Who the fuck is that? Um, I hate to say it. I don't know what to do. What do you do with Jimmy Johnson? Well, next is 78, and yeah, he's a field filler. I know it's a yeah, he's a field filler. BJ McLeod. I like him as a person. I like the fact that he every week these guys show up. They're living the dream. But yeah, he's not talented enough to be with the below average guys. Like I think these guys have. If you put one of these drivers in that 78, they would get better results than BJ McLeod. I think. So yeah, 84 Jimmy Johnson and shitty organization. He's had the two times he tried to race, just couldn't even race. Um, then you're talking about a seven-time champion. Um, this one's tough. What do you do with somebody like that who's not a full-time driver, came back for two races? Um, what do you do? Like, I know if you put him in top level equipment, he would run. I don't know if he could still win races, but he would definitely be. So I don't know what to do with that 84 car. I'm stumped because you're talking about a legend of NASCAR, a legend of the sport, seven-time champion, won a shitload of races. Why is he even here? I'm going to do something out of respect to him. I'm not even going to put him on the list because and he couldn't even complete more than a couple of laps or whatever. It's not fair to even put him on the list. So out of respect to him and his legacy, I'm going to pretend this 84 isn't even here. And the last car is my driver, Daniel Suarez. Again, Trackhouse is pretty much a second tier team, which is nothing to be ashamed of. But they are not a top tier organization. And I think he's shown speed and he's had a lot of bad luck. Something bad always seems to happen, parts failures, and then they had a rear brake failure. It's just his luck has been horrible. Better, but he's a second tier driver. He's second tier. Um, yeah, he's an above average driver for sure. Um, so I'm confident putting him there. Is he as good as like a Tyler Reddick at this moment, or a Christopher Bell, or even a Blaney? Mm, I don't think so. I think he might be like clawing at them, right? Um, but they have consistently shown more. But then again, the 12 and the 20 and the 20, yeah, they drive top tier organization. You got to keep. I still don't think 2311 Racing is top tier yet. They're getting there, but they're not there yet. So yeah, there's second tier is nothing to be ashamed of. Austin Dillon, I would love to knock him down to average, but I can't. I have to be fair. Like somehow, some way, they they're above average. You know, so you could be at second tier and not be at the top of second tier. Like even within second tier, there's two tiers. He's definitely in the lower tier of the second tier drivers. So there you have it. There is the official Disco Inferno drivers tier list. So I hope you guys enjoyed. A few more comments before I sign off. This has been a long live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's see. Flaming Tables. 99 is second tier. He's had flashes of top tier, but they are like a blood moon, very rare. Yeah, because like I said, Trackhouse is not a top tier team. You know, kudos to them for what they've done. They are on the same kind of level of uh Childress. They're not fast every week, but they could like every couple of races they show up, they're fast. So yeah, they're not top tier, and I think he's shown a lot of speed. But yeah, he's second tier. I'm comfortable with that. Let's see. Honestly, the only people who like Hamlin get paid to like him. I know the drill. I don't get paid to like Hamlin. I don't like Hamlin. I don't know what else to tell you. Let's see. JC, what the fuck does liking that flaky son of a bitch have to do with anything? Uh, yeah, I don't know what else to say. What if Racing says, I'm beyond confused. If I get paid to be a Hamlin show, then I wouldn't be looking for a job. That's a great point. Um, I don't know, man. Look, I get don't. Let's see. You should be getting paid then. What if Diehard says Hamlin will get a championship before he's done? I don't know, man. He's getting up there. Yeah, I don't know how many years he's going to be driving left. Would it shock me if he won a championship? No, but I don't know, man. I think he's. I don't know how many times you can get that opportunity and just not be able to. Yeah, I'm not as sure as you are. Let's see. 1000 HP next gen says Hamlin has been a nothing burger. Get real, no championships, and Logano has two. Oh man. NASCAR Kid Formula GT. Hamlin is the most winningest driver every year except 2018. I'm tired of talking about Hamlin. I don't like that guy. Diehard says Noah will have two wins next year. He's still putting on the line. He drives up. Their car doesn't hold up. I don't know, man. You really believe in this guy? Like I said, I don't think he's had enough races to like. I'm not putting anything in set. Nothing is set in stone. But all I have is what I've seen so far, and it's a very limited window. But he has not looked good at all. It's almost like some guy ran down from the stands, jumped in the car, and just got in the race. Um, Even Eric Jones is driving the same equipment, is just consistently. I'm not talking about 2 or 3 races. I'm talking about just consistently outrunning Noah Gragson. Um, that can change, but to say he's going to have 2 wins next year, where is he going to get 2 wins from fucking racing Legacy Motorsport Club equipment? Yeah, I I don't know where you get that, man. Let's see. 12 cars showed strength today. I agree. Yeah, man, he's always fast. It's just, I don't know, something. He's, I don't know. He a lot of times has trouble closing the deal, whether it's bad luck or he does something that gets himself in trouble. It's always something. But yeah, he was fast. Viper says Hamlin deserves a championship. Mark Martin definitely deserved one too, but just wasn't lucky enough. Yeah, I mean, look, deserve is a strong word because, hold on a second. Fuck, I went down too far. There's so many fucking comments. I'm not gonna be able to get through all of this. Yeah, Bowman is second tier. I agree. Let's see. Hold on a second. Man, I skipped a lot of fucking. All right, hold on. Let's see. Mark Martin dominated in the 5 car. Man, we're going back. How many generations you want to go back? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know about deserve. That's a strong word. You know, you still got to go and take it. But the way that this playoff system is contrived, where it comes down to one race, that's stupid. They need to redo that. I've already said I would get rid of the win and you're in, and I would base the playoffs itself as a point system within itself. And I don't like that idea of just eliminating people and then getting down to have 4 cars for one race decide a championship. That's the dumbest thing ever. Um, I don't think it's fair. But I don't want, I still believe in a playoff system, but it's how it's done. Let's see. Oh boy. Votes, welcome. Walking in DC, setting people's hair on fire with driver ranking. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the ranking is that bad. Like I don't know, one person has a problem with the 11 being top tier. There are a couple maybe questionable, but I feel strong about why I put people where I put them. Is Hamlin winningest driver to never win a championship yet? I don't know. Maybe. Mark Martin is the only other. Reddick is second tier. Yeah, his talent is definitely there, but I can't put him in top tier yet. Chase Elliott isn't first tier, by the way. Didn't he win a championship? Um, I don't get it. Like, you the 11 has no championships, and you hold that against them. But you take a guy who actually won a championship, and you're saying he's not top tier either. I don't get it. Tyler is second. Um, Tyler who? Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, I said Tyler. I agree. 45 second tier. JC. The real question was the 44 ever on track, not Biffle. Yeah, I don't even know. If I didn't know who the fucking car was, I just put him on as a field filler. Let's see. 47 below average. It's like he's not even trying anymore. 47. No, he's been having a great year. He's taking that 47 car, which is a average car at best, and he's been running really good. Even the announcers mention it all the time. Um, yeah. JC says he's not even trying. What? Yeah, I agree. I don't see it on the track. Yeah, if you only look at the final like standings or where the finish is, a lot of times guys run really strong throughout the race and then something happens. You look at that street race a couple weeks ago, Suarez was running top 10 all day, and then all of a sudden, boom, he just finished in the lower 20s. And then you find out, oh, fucking, he had mechanical problems again. That's not an indicator of how he ran all day. So you look at the 47 team, if you're really paying attention to what he's doing from the start to finish all year, most of the races, he's been really, really impressive considering the car. I think he's raced, it's his best year, clearly, so far. So I don't know. All right. What if says, and people say my takes suck. I'm so lost. I need a nap, I guess. Uh, Listen, man, you can't take everybody's opinion that seriously. It is what it is. Um, yeah, I didn't think I'd have to argue on behalf of Denny Hamlin of all people, uh, someone I do not like, never did, and I gotta defend this guy uh, a lot. Viper says Bowman is second tier. That's exactly where I have him. Uh, 48 third tier. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. He's had some really solid runs. Um, I don't know. Third tier is just average. I think he's shown better than that in his career so far. Um, yeah, I can't put him as an average driver. 47 gets top tens. Let me check his finishing stats. Yeah, I don't know if the finish results always show, but he's run really solid throughout the races. Nine car, second tier. He's won a championship and he's won multiple races. 54 is average. Eh, I mean, honestly, his body of work isn't that big. I could have dropped him to average. I honestly could. I would not argue with somebody who says he's average. I put him second tier because I have seen a lot of improvement lately. He's racing smarter. Um, I don't know. Like yeah. You want to put him as average? I'm not gonna fucking argue. All right, JC stats don't tell half the shit. They should when the dang car blows up every time he's getting something out of it. Yeah, I agree. Average 54, NASCAR Kid Formula. Yeah, I'm not going to argue. If you guys think he's average, yeah, I'm not going to argue that. Die Hard says Bowman, Gibbs, and Stenhouse average all day. Uh, let's see. Austin Hill. He's not a cup driver, though. I don't know who drives a 62, but I know the sponsor is Beard Oil. Oh yeah. The last time I knew who drove the 62, it wasn't it the fucking Brendan Gaughan? I don't know. If I don't even know who's driving the car, they're definitely field fillers. So I got to put him at the bottom. 50 good, done good as a rookie. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of racing smart. Like he's staying out of trouble most of the time. Jimmy, top tier. I'm biased as fuck. Look, Jimmy Johnson, that's why I don't even think he belongs on the tier list because he's really not he's not even a part-time racer this year. There were two races that he was slated to run in, and I don't even think he completed one of them. He didn't even complete a lap. I don't think. It's not I don't want to put him on the list cuz out of respect to him and his career. He's of course he's a top tier driver if you're looking at his career, but this is all about current drivers. I could do an all-time list too. Okay, 99 is third tier. No, I think he's second tier. Ty Gibbs is doing average in the top ride. Yeah, that's not a bad point. Like I said, look, if somebody wants to knock him to average, I'm not going to argue that. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, 2023, Jimmy is. Why the fuck are they on the track? Yeah, um, yeah. Ace, you could put him there, but he hasn't even run enough laps to be a field filler. To even be on why the fuck on they on the track because he's not even on the track. Yeah, I'm not putting him on the list. All right. Um, okay, guys, I gotta call it a night. This is probably my longest live stream ever. It's over 2.5 hours. I appreciate everybody coming. Thank you so much for being part of it. Um, Let me know in the comment section. What did you think of me doing the tier list? Do you want to see more tier lists? Um, you know, of course, dislike, disagree, whatever, the usual stuff. Uh, what did you think of my opinions on this short track package that NASCAR is going to work on or test? I don't think it's a good idea. I don't like the whole rubber banding attempt. Um, I think it's going to be a mistake. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to say good night now. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys um, next time. I'm still reading some of these comments. There's too many comments for me to read. Thanks for showing up, guys. um, you guys have a good one. Later.